Okay. Om Gyanatimirandhasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Iti Namine. Prema Bhakti Rasanandam Kripasandhu Mamananam Pragyapayandam Vande Sri Bhakti Vedanta Narayanam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Here we go. So today we are continuing with chapter 5, verse 33. Yad Advaitam Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhaktao Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Okay, now finally we have everything right. So, this is continuing the Tika of, we have now, I think we are on the Tatparya. No, this is still the Tika of Srila Jiva Goswami Pad. So, just to review the translation of the verse, because there's a lot of commentary on this. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. Although he is non-dual, infallible, beginningless, possessed of unlimited forms, and the oldest of all, nevertheless, he is a beautiful person with everlasting, fresh youthfulness. Although he is incomprehensible through study of the Vedas, he is easily attained by spontaneous devotion of the soul, Shuddha Prem. I worship that original personality, Shri Govinda. So now let us continue with the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pad. He has explained the meaning of Advaita and Achyuta in this verse recited by Brahmaji, and now he comments on the word Anadi. Anadi means beginningless. In the discussion regarding Sankhya found in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:24, the verse Kalo Maya Maye Jive states that Sri Krishna is the origin of that which has no origin. So this is this is the we're all familiar with this book by Srila Jiva Goswami called Sri Bhagavata Sandarbha, sometimes called Shat Sandarbha. And in Bhagavat Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami takes all of the philosophical conceptions in Srimad Bhagavatam and he expands them and lays them out systematically and categorically. So these are the 6 treasure chests of the different types of philosophical conclusions and rasa conclusions and tattva and conclusions on bhakti. Everything has been compiled. So this 11th canto is the instructions of Nava-Yogendra in these chapters, and there is a description of Sankhya. So, Kalo Maya Maya Jiva states that Sri Krishna is the origin of that which has no origin. He remains present in one Swarup throughout the creation, maintenance, and annihilation. And even at that time that Brahma and Shankar ceased to exist, Bhagavan alone remains present. Although the universe is eventually destroyed, he remains absorbed in his eternal pastimes with his eternal associates in his eternal abode. Therefore, there is never a time when he is not present. So, to make this very clear, What the meaning of this? Kalo maya maye jive. What Srila Jiva Goswami has extracted from this is that Sri Krishna remains in his Swarup. What is his Swarup? His Swarup is in his Tribhanga form. He is playing on the flute. He is standing by the bank of the Yamuna River. He is attracting and he is being attracted by the hearts of his most intimate, pure devotees. And this is his business. He has no business. Na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, na tatsamash chabhyatikashta drishyate. He has no, there is no work to be done by him, right? He has no obligation to perform any type of work, and he is also not actually doing any work. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Sriyate Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriyacha. All of his Shaktis are doing everything. Things are being done through his various expansions, but Sri Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, has nothing to do. He has no need to become Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is not different from Sri Krishna, but our goal is to know Sri Krishna, not to know Mahavishnu. Although we know Mahavishnu as one of the Leela, one of the Purusha avatars. Three Purusha avatars, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So, but our goal is to be with Sri Krishna in Vrindavan, in his Swarup. So this is the philosophical truth that is being established here. In Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 24, 22 through 27, annihilation has been described thus. At the time of the cosmic annihilation, the mortal bodies of the living entities enter into grains, grains enter into seeds, seeds into the earth, earth into fragrance, fragrance into water, water into the sense object taste, taste into fire, fire into form, form into air, air into touch, touch into space, and space into the sense object sound. Now, the word sense object is being used for a word you may have heard before, tanmatra. Tanmatras are the subtle forms of the sense objects. These are elements of creation, essential elements of creation according to Sankhya philosophy. So when there's the time of the universe being destroyed, there is this reverse process, a reverse process where the bodies now enter into grains, grains go back to seeds. Everything is kind of folding up in the reverse order of manifestation. And ultimately, we end up with the most subtle of these sense objects, which is sound. All the senses enter their respective presiding demigods. So the senses is referring to the ability of the senses, the knowledge acquiring senses and the working senses. And each one of the senses has a predominating deity. For example, the sense of vision is predominated by Surya Dev and so forth. The sense of the working sense of the hands is predominated by, the sense of smell is predominated by the Ashwini Kumaras and so forth. So those potential activities of the senses enter into the presiding demigods. The demigods enter into the controlling mind. The demigods enter into the controlling mind. The controlling mind enters into false ego. Sound enters the tamasic phase of false ego. And all the three modes of false ego enter into the Mahat Tattva. The Mahat Tattva enters into the modes of material nature. The modes of material nature enter into Prakriti, and Prakriti enters into time, and time enters into Bhagavan, who is the controller of Maya, and finally enters into me. However, my Swarup, which is the cause of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, is never absent at any time. So I'm not going to try to go into a long exposition, but we have just been given the entire Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy is a lot to comprehend, but we've just been given the entire Sankhya philosophy and description of creation in reverse. Okay? So everything that happens in reverse is given here. So in creation, it is time which first comes. The Kala Shakti comes from Bhagavan. And who is the Bhagavan from whom that comes? The Purusha avatar, Mahavishnu, along with his Shakti, Ramadevi. Okay. So again, not going to try to go in here, but the punchline is the important thing. My Swarup, which is the cause of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, is never absent at any time. Sri Krishna has also been described as the oldest person in the following way. Now, this is still, Srila Jiva Goswami is explaining the meaning of Anadi. Okay. Ekastvamatma Purusha Purana. Brahmaji says, "O Bhagavan, you are the only truth because you are Paramatma and you are separate from this world of misleading appearances. You are the root cause of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the universe. You are the oldest person, and you are eternal, perfect, complete, and unchanging. You are the embodiment of nectar, composed of eternal bliss, and free from all mundane designations and the qualities of the illusory energy. You are pure, endless, indivisible, and non-dual." This is from prayers by Brahmaji, where Brahmaji, I believe this is from 14th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the meaning, what Brahmaji is saying, Ekastvamatma Purusha Purana. And Srila Jiva Goswami Pad is giving us the expanded meaning of this. The Yadu wives of Mathura said in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:44, Gudha Purana Purusho Vanachitra Malya. This Krishna is the eternal and primeval personality whose lotus feet are worshipped by Brahma, Shankar, and Lakshmi Devi. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhaya. You are unknown to ignorant people. This is a quote from Bhagavad Gita. You are unknown to ignorant people who harbor the misconception that the formless, undifferentiated, unmanifest Brahman has manifested separately by the knowledge function of the illusory potency and has descended to this world in Nanda Bhavan in the form of Sri Krishna. So a this is a direct criticism of Mayavad. Mayavad philosophy tries to suggest that it is Brahman, the unmanifest form of Bhagavan. Why Brahman is called unmanifest? Because there is no form to Brahman. Brahman is the effulgence of Bhagavan. The effulgence of Bhagavan is itself without form. Therefore, it is called avyakta. And Mayavadis say that Brahman assumes a form like we might put clothes on, but that form is illusory. This is offensive. This is offensive, and it goes against all Vedic teachings. It is very offensive and very wrong because it is Brahman, the unmanifest Brahman, which has no form, comes from the localized, it comes from the Supreme Personality who has a form, who has divine attributes, and who is also present in a localized form as Paramatma. So this is being given by the wives of the Yadu dynasty in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are explaining this. You are therefore confidential. Your original form is decorated with a wonderful garland of forest flowers, and you perform many varieties of pleasing pastimes while playing on your flute and grazing cows along with Baladev. This is the meaning of primeval personality, Purana Purusha. It has also been mentioned in the Shruti that Sri Krishna's ever-fresh adolescent form is the eternal form in which he is forever situated. Although he is the oldest, he is eternally young. So this is all giving the meaning of Advaitam Achyutamanadam Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Cha. This is all giving the meaning of Anadi, that he is beginningless. He is beginningless in his Swarup. Sri Krishna has always been there in his Swarup. He is playing on the flute. He is with his devotees. It is this material world that is the temporary thing. But our position as Buddha Jeeves is also called Anadi. That's another thing altogether. We'll not talk about that later. So it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:44. Gopyastapa kimacharanyadamusharupam lavanyasaramasamordhvamananya siddham drigbhi pibandhyanusabhavinam anubhav anusavabhinavam durapam ekantadhama yashasa shriya aishwarasya. Aho, what kind of austerities did the gopis perform to be able to constantly drink the unequaled and unsurpassed sweetness of his bodily beauty, which is newer and newer at every moment? The gopis directly see with their own eyes the very rare and ever fresh loveliness of Sri Krishna's form, which is the essence of all luster, and is the unrivaled exclusive reservoir of independently perfect fame, beauty, and opulence. When he begins to laugh, the makara-shaped earrings, the ornaments adorning his two charming ears, cast sparkling reflections that play with astonishing beauty upon his two cheeks. With his form and qualities, he attracts the hearts, minds, and lives of all pure devotees. Again, these are the prayers being offered by the wives of the Yadu dynasty, and they are appreciating how the gopis are able to be constantly seeing this beauty and the sweetness of Sri Krishna's form, which is ever fresh and ever new. They are seeing this directly and they are appreciating it. In Srimad Bhagavatam 116:26 to 30, Sri Krishna's qualities are described thus. Satyam Shaucham Dayakshantis Tyaga Santosha Arjavam Shamodamastapa Samyam Titiksho Parati Shrutam Jnanam Viraktirashwaryam Shauryam Tejo Balam Smritihi Swatantriyam Kaushalam Kantir Dhairyam Mardavamevacha Pragalbhyam Prashraya Shilam Saha Ojo Balam Bhagaha Gambhiryam Stairyamastikyam Kirtirmano Nahankritihi Ete Chanye Cha Bhagavan Nityayatra Mahaguna Prartya Mahattvamichadbir Navijanti Smakarhichit Tena Ham Gunapatrena Srinivasena Sampratam Shochami Rahitam Lokam Papmana Kalinikshitam. Bhagavan Sri Hari has unlimited qualities, some of which are being described here simply to afford us a glance in the direction of his excellence. Now we're going to hear a list of qualities of Sri Hari, of Sri Krishna, and this is nectar to the ears of pure devotees. So we shouldn't be thinking, oh, here is another long list. We should be thinking, oh, here are how many drops of nectar, and may they enter my ears. And may Harinam grant me the ability to taste all of these qualities which are present in the name of Krishna. 1, his words are true. 2, he is pure. 3, he is unable to tolerate the distress of others. 4, he protects those who are unconditionally surrendered to him. 5, he is the friend of the devotees. 6, his consciousness is equiposed even when there is cause to be angry. 7, he is generous. 8, he naturally feels satisfied. 9, he is simple-hearted. 10, his activities are auspicious for everyone because he is the well-wisher of all. 11, his mind is steady and not prone to attachment and aversion. 12, he is firmly avowed toward favorable subjects. 13, he controls the external senses. 14, when he descends and performs pastimes as a kshatriya or a member of any other caste, he adheres responsibly to the appropriate principles of religious conduct. 15, he is equally disposed to friends and enemies. 16, he tolerates great offenses committed against him. Remember Shishupal? 17, he is indifferent to things that are ordinarily most desirable. 18, he abides by the injunctions of the scriptures. 19, he possesses 5 types of knowledge, namely, that which pertains to direct sense perception of gross phenomena, pratyaksha, to swarga, paroksha, meaning to the unseen, to the unmanifest formless Brahman, aparoksha, to Vaikuntha, adhokshaja, that which is completely beyond the purview of the senses, and to Goloka Vrindavan, aprakrita, that which is completely non-mundane. 20, he is intelligent. 21, he is grateful for services rendered by others. 22, he is an expert judge of time, place, and persons, and he acts accordingly. 23, he is omniscient. 24, he is self-realized. 25, he is the controller of all opulence. 26, he is enthusiastic in battle. 27, he is influential. 28, he can subdue others by his influence. 29, he is expert in quickly accomplishing that which is ordinarily impossible. Durgata Gatana Vidhatri. 30, he can ascertain what kind of duty should be performed in any particular situation. 31, his mind is never agitated. 32, he is not dependent on others. 33, he is expert in all activities. 34, he can accomplish many activities at the same time. 35, he is expert in all arts. Later in this book, we will hear a list of the 64 arts which Sri Krishna is expert in, which took him a total of 64 days to master. 36, his limbs are beautiful. 37, his color, taste, fragrance, touch, and sound are beautiful. 38, his adolescence is beautiful. 39, he is attractive to all women. 40, he is patient. 41, his heart melts with prem. 42, he is controlled only by love. 43, his bold speech is remarkably witty. 44, he is an eloquent speaker. 45, he is gentle. 46, he is bashful when he thinks someone has detected his amorous affairs or when others glorify him. 47, he offers appropriate respect to all. 48, his words are sweet and pleasing. 49, his natural disposition is charming. 50, he is partial to the sadhus. 51, he is sharp-witted. 52, his knowledge-acquiring senses are acute. 53, his working senses are dexterous. 54, he is the abode of all enjoyment. 55, he is always happy. 56, he possesses all opulence. 57, it is very difficult to understand his intentions. 58, he is immovable. 59, he sees through the eyes of Scripture. 60, he is famous for his sterling qualities. 61, he is the object of love and attachment for everyone. 62, he is worshipable for everyone. 63, he is devoid of pride despite being worshipped by everyone. 64, he is possessed of Brahminical qualities. 65, all mystic powers are under his control. 66, he is the concentrated embodiment of eternal existence, consciousness, and bliss. 67, some qualities such as satisfaction are also found in devotees, karmis, jnanis, and yogis. However, all such qualities are present only in a common way, whereas in Bhagavan, they are fully present to the ultimate extent. Therefore, all these qualities are transcendental, fully spiritual, and inherent in his very nature. Oops, we missed a number here. 69, Sri Krishna's qualities, pastimes, associates, transcendental abode, devotees, and paraphernalia are all eternal, supramundane, and complete. Therefore, the qualities that the ordinary living entities cannot possibly possess are all present only in Bhagavan. For example, 70, his avowed intention becomes reality. 71, he is the controller of Maya. 72, he is situated in pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. 73, he is the maintainer of the universe. 74, he awards salvation to the enemies killed by him. 75, he attracts even the self-satisfied liberated souls. 76, he is served by the demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. 77, he is equipped with unlimited, inconceivable potency. 78, his beauty is eternally increasing in freshness at every moment. 79, he is the predominating deity of Maya in the form of the Purusha avatar. 80, he is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of the universes. 81, he is the source of all incarnations. 82, unlimited universes are situated in the pores of his skin. 83, he is complete with the aggregate of all inconceivable energies in his forms such as Vasudeva and Narayana. 84, in his original form as Sri Krishna, he can bestow mukti and even bhakti upon his enemies. Remember the story of Putana, Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam. 85, his form is so sweet that it astonishes even himself. There is a quote in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita from Lalita Madhava. 86, unlimited qualities are eternally present in Bhagavan, such as bestowing boundless joy upon an unconscious substance in his proximity. So these are 86 qualities that have been given by Srila Jiva Goswami, expanding on this one verse of these few verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is just something to take in our hearts to absorb and just try to accept it as these are drops of nectarian qualities of Bhagavan. This type of description is found in both Brahmaji's meditation on one pastime in a single location, Mantra Mayi Upasana, and also in his broader meditation. And if you remember, that is Swabhaviki, Swarasiki Upasana. In the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, it has been stated, Gopavesham Abhrabham Tarunam Kalpadrumashritam. Sri Krishna, who is dressed as a cowherd boy, whose divine luster resembles the hue of a rain cloud, who is a fresh youth, and who is seated at the foot of a desire tree, has been called Gopal. Here, the word Taruna indicates his ever youthful personal form, which is the storehouse of elegance and beauty. So, in when we hear such a long list that Srila Jiva Goswami has given us, like he has pulled out from one seed all the leaves of a big tree, this is actually expanding the Vedic knowledge that is present in every syllable of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is also based on having fully understood the entire purport of Vishnu Sahasranam and every other Shastra that has given glorification of Bhagavan. So these are all things that have been expanded and Srila Jiva Goswami has given us. So when we read this, it is a very long list, but these are all very beautiful qualities, and they are loaded with very concise tattva. So these are just things to take in our heart and embrace them. And by the phrase Vedeshu Durlabham in this verse 33, Brahmaji has explained that Sri Krishna is very difficult to comprehend, even for the personified Vedas. What to speak of the adherents of Vedic paths such as karmis, jnanis, and yogis. This is confirmed in the statement of Sri Uddhava. The Shrutis have become exhausted by continually searching for the lotus feet of Mukunda. And they are still searching to this very day for those lotus feet, which the gopis of Vrindavan have already attained. If you remember, the personified Vedas, the Shrutis, who are present in the form of Devis, they have prayed, Nibrita Manun Manoksha Yogi Yujo Hridayan. They have said, we are aspiring to be particles of dust on the lotus feet of those gopis. They have been embraced by the beautiful arms of Sri Krishna, which are shaped like the bodies of the kings of serpents, and their minds are only distracted by thoughts of him. We want to follow in the footsteps of the gopis. This is what is meant by the Vimargayan, the personified Vedas. This is also what Srila Jiva Goswami is describing as Vedeshu Durlabham. The personified Vedas themselves. What to speak of us who don't really understand Vedic knowledge very much? They themselves are searching and aspiring. When will we be able to take the particles of dust, be like particles of dust on the lotus feet of the gopis? Similarly, Brahmaji has also stated in 1014, Adhyapayat Padaraja Shruti Mrigameva, motivated by an intense greed to attain the dust of his lotus feet, the Shrutis are still performing austerities to this very day. Now, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has explained some things in his purports on this particular verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. He has explained that the Shrutichari gopis, the gopis who were in a previous day of Brahma, the personified Vedas, they performed austerities and they became gopis who were able to associate with the Nityasiddha gopis and enter into the rasa dance. And the gopis, the Shrutis, who came as Devis and offered prayers such as Nibrita Varun Mano Kshadada Yoga Yujo Hridayan, they in the next day of Brahmaji will become Shruti Jati gopis. This has been explained. Although Yashodanandan Sri Krishna is inaccessible to the karmis and yogis, he is easily accessible through the love of his devotees. Bhaktyaham ekaya grahya. He is attained only through devotion, not through jnana, not through karma, or anything else. I think we're going to get through the Tika of Srila Jiva Goswami, and then next week we'll continue with the Tatparya of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which is not quite as long. But this is really quite a lot, so just stick with me here. So Bhagavan has said in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14, remember where Sri Krishna is speaking to Uddhava in the 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. O Uddhava, bhakti is the powerful method of attaining me. I am completely controlled by that devotion, but I am never controlled by yoga, by philosophical deliberation, by adherence to religious principles, by meticulous study of the Vedas, by austerities, by giving charity, nor by any other method. I am the supersoul in everyone's heart, and I am easily attained by the sadhus alone, not by anyone else. This is because they have unadulterated and undivided devotion, which is born of their unflinching faith in me. This type of exclusive devotion has the power to purify even a member of the caste of dog eaters. However, all qualities such as truthfulness, mercy, observing silence, following scriptural injunctions, austerities, and the cultivation of knowledge definitely cannot purify the heart of a human being who is devoid of bhakti unto me. This is a very strong statement. Krishna is telling Uddhava, I am controlled by bhakti, by exclusive devotion. Vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhaktau. Now, this is meaning is being given by Srila Jiva Goswami. He is going through every single word of this verse, this stanza of Sri Brahma Samhita, and explaining it. Now, this is an important thing. Some people are confused nowadays. They think that, oh, we have to become very pure. We should become sannyasis, and then we should become very pure and fix our mind in Brahman, and then automatically everything will come. No, Krishna is saying no, no, and no. Not by renunciation, not by austerities, not by acquiring so much knowledge, not by knowing every commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam and being able to explain everything. It is only by pure devotion. Now, of course, on the path of bhakti, we are recommended to take into our heart, try to understand Tattva Siddhanta, like taking a cold bath. Yes, sometimes it's not so palatable to hear so much Tattva and so much Tattva Siddhanta, but this is like taking bath in the river in February. Oh, the water is cold, but it is cleansing me. It will help to cleanse my heart. It will help me to be steady on that path of bhakti, which will lead me to have bhakti like that of the Brajavasis, Raganuga Bhakti. So we have agreed we want to attain bhakti, and we will take all of these things which are favorable, like knowing all of these elements of Tattva Siddhanta that will help keep our minds from becoming disturbed and deviating. So, Brahmaji has declared in Srimad Bhagavatam, again, getting back to the prayers offered by Brahmaji after in Brahma Vimohan Lila, Pureha Bhuman Bhagavopi Yoginaha, O indivisible one, O Achyuta, there were many yogis in this world in ancient times who, being unable to attain success in the path of yoga, began to perform their worldly and religious duties as an offering unto your lotus feet. As a result of this, they began to practice bhakti in the form of hearing and chanting the narrations of your glories. Thus, they realized the essential reality of the self without any extraneous endeavor, and without difficulty, they attained the excellent destination of becoming your associates. So this is, again, turning on the head the idea that someone may study the Vedas, may become very renounced. There were those sages who were very renounced already, who were detached, who were self-satisfied. But hearing and chanting, they became attracted. They became attracted and they wanted to hear and chant about your glories. And then they were able to realize the essential reality of the self. And they got the destination of becoming your associates only by bhakti. Again, this is now, Srila Jiva Goswami has put the cap on the explanation of Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakta. So we'll end here. This was a lot to go through, but I hope you all feel very cleansed by hearing so much from the lotus mouth of Srila Jiva Goswami Pod. Next week we will continue. We will hear Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Tatparya and explanation also on top of this. Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.